Okay, we're live. Well, hi everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today I'm with Shane Wallace, who is the co-founder and CEO of WorkApp, a global industry platform that is transforming the online market. Well, thanks Shane for your time and for accepting this interview, which may help others who are thinking of changing careers. How you doing today, mate?
G'day, Martin. Great to be here with you, mate. I'm well, thank you.
That's good. And you're over in Brisbane, is that right?
I'm on the Gold Coast. I'm on the border of the Gold Coast, northern border. So love the Gold Coast, mate.
Yep, I've been there a couple of times. Very nice. Nice weather.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah, just like here in Perth, it's been fantastic these last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. You got to love Australia. You got to love Australia.
Yeah, that's right. We're quite blessed, really. I mean, when you think about what goes on in the world and, at least we can focus on what's important moving forward with our life and not have to worry about, being attacked or bombed or whatever. So, no, it's all good. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll get right into it. Shane, if you wouldn't mind, can you share a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got started with WorkApp?
Yeah, no worries. Well, so 7 years in the making WorkApp is. It's amazing how time actually flies when you're in the entrepreneurial grind, and you're committed to something. But we decided to build a platform that finds the closest active tradies, workers, small businesses to the searcher instead of those who pay to rank at the top sort of thing. That's how the idea started out. So it was quite a noble idea based on helping community to thrive. The money-making component didn't come into it initially at all.
Yep.
It was really about, coming up with a solution for the small, the plumbers and the hairdressers and the workers that are looking for work in their local areas.
Yep.
And after getting involved in software development, because I'd never actually even downloaded an app prior to WorkApp. The first app I ever downloaded was mine.
Oh, wow.
Which was a bit of a buzz, because I don't have a tech background. And but after we got into the whole development side of things, oils ain't oils when it comes to building these apps and these platforms. So I, essentially worked out after a couple of years that I'd bitten off way more than I could chew. So I just settled into chewing and going. And fortunately, I managed to team up with professional developers at the start of 2015. And that then started the professional journey of actually building this platform.
Yep.
It was unknown as to how long it was going to take to build. It was, or how much it was going to cost to build. So it was just to suck it and see how you go and start and see where you end up. And so here we are now, 5 years from then, 2 years after I started, and we've finally got WorkApp up and running. And, and now it's actually what we set out to build in the first place, was a platform that can have the closest active results instead of who pays. And so I'm just stoked that I managed to soldier through that grind of many years from the idea to the manifestation of the actual physical product. It's a real buzz.
Yeah. I can see that. I can feel it in your energy and the way you talk. It's like a kind of analogy, giving birth to a baby. When you're creating something new, you don't know what it's going to look like or, end up like. And I guess you're learning every day. You're having your ups and your downs. But there is excitement in creation. That's what I've come to learn. There's not so much excitement in maintenance, but more in creation. That's why it's important, I think, for everyone to be creating something at some level in their life.
Well, I think, not only that, are you out there just to make money in the world and exist?
Yep.
Or are you out there to fulfill, something that's got meaning in your life and create? And that's where it sat for me prior to WorkApp. I was, looking for something that ticked my boxes, and it had to render useful service to the universe. Yep. It had to be good for the people and good for the planet, or I just wasn't going to get involved. And that was something that I was aiming for spiritually within me.
Yep.
And then, through synchronicity and how things come to be, here I am now as a tech CEO. Well, I'm the most unsuspecting tech CEO you'll ever find, because I still don't even have a computer now. I don't, sit on there and do that one, but I've got a good team that does, fortunately. So,
Well, that's important, but I'm right with you there. I'm 100% with you, because I'm all about the passion, the purpose, making an impact, and the money comes later, because money is just a representation of the value you put out into the world. So I'm right
It's a byproduct, isn't it? It's just a byproduct of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You got to give before you get. That's the secret, really. A lot of people, I think, even on some of the platforms, as soon as you meet them, straight away they're trying to pitch something to you. I mean, first you don't know them, and then it doesn't work. I wonder if they actually get it, because I'm sure they do this over and over every day. You think that they'll stop and say, look, someone's not going to get married on the first date, so to speak. You got to get to know people, understand people, because you might find that whatever you're offering is not even suitable for them. And you don't want to sell, you want to serve. You want them to buy, not to be sold to. Anyway, I'm sure you know all about this stuff.
I'm right on that vibration with you. I totally agree, Martin. You know, it's what it's all about, you know, first and foremost. And that takes effort, right? Because you can sell something easily and make a little bit of money, or you can sell something authentically and it takes a whole lot more effort. But
it's worth
you know, the reward's there in, you know, like what you're doing for yourself and your soul.
Yeah, that's Absolutely. Right. It's good. It's a win-win. It's good for you. You feel good that you've done the right thing, and they feel good. Otherwise, they're going to realize later, maybe the next day or the next week, that what you sold them, they didn't actually need.
Yeah,
so,
wasn't it? Yeah.
So it's always important to do the right thing. Now, I was going to ask you, like, why did you co-found WorkApp? Was there someone, or was there something that happened that influenced you in particular?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it was actually my brother. He's a tradie, and he rang me and said, let's build an app that finds the closest active workers to the job sites.
Oh, wow.
He actually had a concrete truck turn up on him, and a labourer pull out, and all of a sudden he's got two options: turn the concrete truck around and pay for the load anyway, or find someone in the next split, you know, few minutes. So he jumped in his vehicle and drove up the street yelling out, need a worker, need a worker. And he actually got a person at the end of the street and brought him back and saved the day, and rang me and said, let's build an app that finds the closest active workers to the job site. It's kind of like an Uber for workers. You know, this is 7 years ago before Uber was even here. So it was just based on a need he had as a tradesman. And I was looking for something that ticked my boxes as a sort of a commercial mission, if you want. And I thought, you know, wow, this is just, first and foremost, it's born from an idea of helping and solving a problem. Not making money.
Yes.
And that was, I thought, wow, okay, that ticks the first box. Secondly is, you know, for me, does it excite me enough? You know, does it have a big enough scope for it to be something that I'm sort of, you know, basically obsessed with and you can't stop me from doing type thing? And it did eventually, after a few months of starting, you know, and I do a lot of meditating, and it was just really starting to feel like, wow, this is it for me. Then, okay, cool. Let's get on with doing it. And who knew how long it was going to take? I thought it would only take a few years to really get it up and running. But, you know, it's 7 years. So I had to prove myself that I was willing to stick that grind.
Yes,
for the next
that's the
few
universe
years.
testing you to see whether you're in it for the short term or the long term.
Exactly. And it cost millions to build. It cost millions to build, which I bootstrapped. I raised all the capital myself, you know, and went out there and just pounded it and, you know, got a good bunch of people behind us and a product that's, you know, awesome and growing better by the day, because we'll continue to develop it. We'll continue to enhance it, you know, and that's the nature of these platforms, is they grow and they evolve and they get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And so it's a thrill to be at that stage. We're fortunate because we have a very, very, very lean cost profile, because what we built within WorkApp was based on not having lots of people in the building to pay for. That was the idea in the early days as well, as not having that cost component, to have a platform that can deliver value that's just unmatched, free, like closest results, not who pays, like properly fair for the people. And so that's been a big mission to build that. But we've successfully built that now. And now we have, you know, a platform that is truly free. And people say, how can you be free? Well, because I don't have a building full of people to pay. That's why.
Yeah, you structured it well. I just want to pick up on a few points, because you've raised some very important points there. Number one, you said you needed to find something that would, you know, keep you going and get you up early and stay up late at night. What I like, that relates to what I generally talk about, is passion. You're passionate about this thing, because to me, passion is your fuel. Also, you mentioned you're not really in it about the money. It's more about providing a service, adding value. To me, that's your personality. Your personality is your vehicle, and your purpose, what you're basically doing, that's your path. So you need the fuel, the vehicle, and the path. And that's why all those boxes seem to tick. And that's what
Yep.
got you through those 5 years, I think. And like I said,
Yes.
like the universe does test us. When we come up with an idea, it says, how bad
Yep.
do you really want it? And if you give up straight away, the universe, basically is
Exactly.
helping you. But if you keep going after 5 years, then obviously that's something that the universe says, hey, I'm going to get out of your way and I'm going to actually support you because I can see
Yeah.
the real thing. You genuinely want
Yeah.
to do this thing. So I can see.
Well, synchronistically,
Yeah.
opportunity arises just from being that committed. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. I look back over my 7-year journey and I swear like 40 miracles have taken place. You know what I mean? You would call them miracles in the general term of, wow, was that luck? Well, it's not luck because, I'm working toward it intently.
That's right.
Daily. It's not luck, but it was lucky. And, I got lucky a lot of times. Well, did I get lucky a lot of times or did I put myself in the position to capitalize from synchronistic opportunity? And that's what I started to find as I was grinding through and it became apparent, wow, okay, it's a lot more involved in building one of these platforms, a lot more. I mean, WorkApp is GDPR compliant. That's a global compliance that's compulsory in the UK. It's not compulsory here in Australia. We don't have that.
Not yet.
We don't have that necessity, not yet, but it probably will come. It's not an easy box to tick from a platform's perspective because it's a data security benchmark, and we tick that box, and so I'm extremely proud of that. There's a lot of development that's gone into that happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's amazing journey.
And that'll all, I think, pay dividends because obviously, because you've gone through a lot of struggles to get it to this point, then it's going to become obviously a good thing and, basically a masterpiece. And what you find is if there's other people creating apps, they're not willing to go through the hardship you went through. So your competitors are probably just going to give up. So in a way, whenever we face a challenge, it's good to remind ourselves that it's testing me how much I want it. And number two, a lot of other people are going to drop off at this point. So if I get through this next hurdle, I'm a step ahead. And if I get through the next hurdle, I'm a step ahead. If you have that kind of mentality, which I'm sure you do, then obviously it's all going to be worth it at the end. It's going to be a win-win, for everyone, which is great.
Oh, it is. It is. And the commercial aspect of it too, like, will kick in at a certain number of users because we've developed a digital billboard model, which we call WorkApp billboards. And it's not based on charging the car dealers for their leads like they're paying now. It's not based on charging the real estate agents to list their properties on the platforms. It's not based on charging the small business for e-commerce. We did a full e-commerce store, shopping cart, PayPal, and you don't pay 1 cent fees. So we've just made a full free e-commerce, free advertising platform. And where we'll generate our revenue is from these digital billboards, which we call WorkApp billboards. The first billboard starts in the 7th position, not first. The first are the free ones and the closest active results. Number 7's the first digital billboard, and number 14 and number 21 and number 28. And we've just put them every 7 all the way through.
Yep.
And with 1 million active users, 1 million active eyeballs, those billboards become worth a lot of money to the brands like Bunnings, like Good Guys, like Supercheap, like Jerry Harvey, like they become prime real estate sort of thing. So it's actually commercially, it's a very clever model as well because our costs are minuscule. So we don't have the big overheads. We can be free for the people. And at a certain active user rate, we also have prime real estate that we can engage with the different people out there that want to advertise.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it sounds like you've got it all figured out, and it's just got to play out. And I'm sure there'll be a few pivots or adjustments.
It's a numbers game now. It's a numbers game. Yeah, like I say, we're growing, and the more we do grow, the more active those billboard sales will become. And at a certain number of growth, it becomes commercial, just like all of the platforms. But the beauty is, it's done first and foremost by creating a free service for the people, and nice and fair.
Yep. Well, you've got a new subscriber.
Oh, nice.
Subscribed yesterday, last night.
See on the top there, thanks, mate. On the top, the 3 buttons. The left one's 50K radius. The middle one is countrywide, and the far right is worldwide.
Yep.
So it just makes you got it on the right one. And
I haven't gone into it deeply enough. I just saw that some vehicles are for sale, but I'm sure there's other things on there too, other products or other services.
It's vehicles, houses. workers' jobs. You know, it's an industry search engine. It's all about the combination of all of that into one without the fees.
Yep. Great. I'm looking forward to using it and even putting my services on there, and we'll see how we go. So it's all great. So thanks.
Oh, that's awesome, Martin. That's music to my ears, brother.
Yep. Cool. And hopefully this video that we're recording here, interview, reaches many other people, and then you'll get a few more subscribers, and then, you know, people talk and it keeps going from there. So it's all good.
Snowball effect has taken place, mate. I appreciate the opportunity to, you know, converse with you. And if anyone else out there listening wants to have me on a podcast, I'm more than welcome. You're more than welcome to get in contact with me, either through WorkApp, of course. You find me on WorkApp real easily, or you can get me on LinkedIn.
Yep, no worries. Cool. Now I was going to ask you, like, what caused you, or what would you say was the reason to make career changes? Like, I noticed doing some research, you were in the army, and then you moved on to becoming a security guard, and then a motorcycle postie, and then an amino active supplement promoter, and then you got into rainwater tanks, and then from rainwater tanks into personal development seminars, and now into WorkApp. Do you want to just talk briefly about your quite a broad range there?
Yeah, I think that depicts the spiritual journey that I was embarking upon, you know, because it was, for me, it was obviously trying different things that was going to drive me as a person. So I did give me a broad range of skill sets. But it was, like I say, about finding what was actually going to serve my soul, you know, render useful service to the universe. What was it that was going to drive me? I wasn't willing to just do something to make money out of it.
Yeah, that's like music to my ears, because that's what I'm all about, connecting people with their life purpose. So that's excellent.
Yep. So that's how that all went down. And I had good sales skills in the end, and I can sell anything that I'm passionate about and that I believe in. So it made sense that I was going to go into sales further from where I was at just before WorkApp. And so I was actually thinking, I'll get into a global brand to sell. What global brand is aligned with my values is what I was starting to think about. And then this opportunity came up for WorkApp, and it just sort of went, okay, well, I think I'll be that global brand then. I'll just be it, you know, and let's do this thing. And so it was one of those massive, like, wow, okay, big, hairy, audacious goal. It's feeling good. It's feeling like it's massive to achieve. And that must have been what I needed, because it's what I embarked upon, and here we are. And I'm very glad that I dared to fail in order to succeed, number one. And that I faced the fear all the way through, because fear really, it's the, you know, the control of fear is what it's about, not the elimination of it, because we all get fearful at times. And I've had a lot of fearful moments through the whole thing, but, you know, I've managed to just calm myself enough and talk myself around like it's okay. And, you know, once you get through the other end of that, there is no failure left now. There's only a readjust and a go again, and a readjust and a go again. And now there's no failure. There's only path forward. And
that's right.
That's how I'm treating WorkApp now too, is there's only path forward for us in WorkApp now. You know, failure is off the table long ago. You know what I mean? We're going to grow.
Yeah. Great. I just want to pick up on 2 points. Like you said, you found something that lights your soul on fire, which is great. And I think it's important for everyone to find that, because that's what, you know, life's about, doing what you're meant to be doing. Also, I can tell from, you know, your energy and the type of person you are, you're very charismatic. You're good at communicating. So you're in the perfect role from what I can see. Now, with fear, that's an interesting thing, because we all have it. And it's really just like a little thing we have to overcome. I mean, you probably heard the acronyms, you know, false evidence appearing real, or face everything and rise. Or another one I heard was F everything and run. But you're right. We all have these inner demons, these fears, and they're there for a reason. They're helping us to get to the next level. And if we don't, we're going to stay stuck. And if we can't resolve it, we need to get help, I think. Otherwise, stay stuck. We have a choice. And there are people that can help you overcome fear. So that's all great. Now, can I ask you, like, in building your WorkApp, did you do that while you were in the 9 to 5? Or how did you do that? Did you kind of burn the boats and take the island?
Yeah, no. Well, before WorkApp, my wife and I took a gap year because our kids had grown up and moved out. So we went around Australia in a caravan, basically working out what we wanted to be when we grew up. We were 40 years old at the time.
That's okay.
And but it was a really about identifying what we're going to do next, sort of thing, commercially and from a lifestyle perspective as well. And so this just sort of happened by coincidence as we got around. You know what I mean? So it's amazing how it's all taken place, really, because it's like, it's meant to be, but at the end of the day, it's all about you pursuing it.
Yeah.
So is it meant to be? No, not really. It's just you pursuing it. And for me, it's about finding the excitement level. And once I'd realised how excited I was at this prospect, you know what I mean? Then it became my full-time job. So nothing else. I'm doing this full-time. I'm not going to do anything else in between. So no 9-to-5 job, no anything. And we didn't have a lot of money behind us or anything like that. I knew I could go and find work easily. So it's not like I could get work real easy. But we basically poured all of our money into it to start it off. And when I run out of that, well, I went and found investors to come and pour some money into it, and we just kept going until I'd achieved the goal, which is this thing up and running now and growing. And the next stage is the commercial aspect of it, of Jerry Harvey or Bunnings buying those digital billboard ads, which, that'll just happen over time as the numbers increase and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
So no, I didn't, no 9-to-5. It was an all or nothing scenario.
Yeah.
I asked myself that question when I started too, like, how excited am I at this? You know what I mean? Am I actually willing to fail at this? And it was like, wow, yeah, I'm willing to actually fail at this. I'm that excited.
Yeah.
And I knew then, right, okay, then there's no stopping this. Let's just go and see how we go, sort of thing, and that's what I've done. So you couldn't have fit a job in around that, because, it became an obsession, if you want, from that point, really.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. Well, it all worked out. And the bit about failure, well, you can't succeed unless you fail. Like a child can't learn to walk unless they fail a few times. And it's just part of the process. And the sooner people accept that, the better, because there is no real failure. It's all feedback. It's all lessons. If you're not failing, then you're not growing.
No,
if
that's
you're not
right.
growing,
exactly.
Then you're not moving forward. You're not progressing. You ain't going to be happy. You ain't going to feel alive. That's really what it comes down to. That's the bottom line. Now, you mentioned
playing it too safe. You're not here to do that, are you? You're not here to play it safe, mate. There's no use tiptoeing, carefully to death. Eventually you're going to die anyway. Why tiptoe carefully to your grave? Why not just have a red hot crack and do what excites you?
Exactly. Go to your grave all worn out and burnt and bruised and dented.
Exactly.
That's another way to look at it. Now, that's cool. Now, you talked about investors. I did hear a story, and you can confirm if it's true, that you raised $3.5 million by talking to certain people, quite an unusual way. I won't give it away. Can you just touch on that?
I did indeed, mate. Yeah, the networking room became the best room in the world for me in the pub.
Oh, wow.
I was actually brought up in country town pubs. As a youngster, my mum and dad used to buy and sell country town pubs back in the day. So I guess, I had a fair bit of comfortability in the average setting. And back in the day, if you went into a town and you wanted to get work or you wanted to find where to stay or something to do, you went to the pub, and you had a feed in the pub, and then you asked the locals and you got pointed in the right direction, sort of thing, So I began to offer the investment opportunity at the pub in various settings, and I started to get a good strike rate of people saying yes to the offer. So I continued on, and I thought, wow, well, this is actually working, and I've got a skill set for it. So I just began to offer and count the no's for every yes, and it was about 10-1. So for every 9 no's, the 10th one would be a yes. It averaged out at.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to just go, okay, well, this week I'm going to offer 10 people to invest, and I'm going to get one on average.
That makes sense.
Give or take, sort of thing, And so I just started to do that, and I got comfortable with it because all the way through I was building WorkApp too. So it was all about developing it, not getting people on it. Just building this thing. And so that's what I started to just grind through. And over the years, I just became comfortable with it. It just lined up perfectly. And see, it became a bit of our magic too, because those people that did invest in WorkApp also became kind of like indirect salespeople for us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like ambassadors as such. By default, they became
They've got skin in the game, so they'll promote it.
They've got skin in the game. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. So, that's becoming part of our magic too now, this many years on.
Yeah,
So
and you raised a lot of money through that, from what I heard. Yeah.
that's
Wow.
right. Yeah, over $3.5 million in the pubs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee, that's a
Yep.
great tip for anyone watching this that's also on the entrepreneurial journey. Maybe try that. Now, I just want to touch on a couple of key points you raised there. Number one, like you mentioned, when you're younger, you kind of lived and went inside pubs and chatted to people because you're in that country town. I mean, it reminds me of what Steve Jobs said, that sometimes things happen in our lives and we don't know how we can use that, but later down the track we can. We can only join the dots looking back, not looking forward. So that's an example of things that have happened, and you've made use of it many years down the track, where at the time you probably didn't think that this would be useful, but it became very useful.
Well, it became the way forward. See, like I say, I just was in the mindset where I was adjusting myself and taking the steps necessary to go forward. You
Yeah,
know, I'd eliminated anything outside of that, and I started to find my way forward through the process. See, not only that, by also going to the pubs, it allowed me to test WorkApp, because I would be getting people to download the app, and
yeah,
they'd be on an
that's right.
Android device or they'd be on an Apple or whatever they're on, and then I'd be like, oh wow, it's doing this, it's doing that, and
They helped
this
you
bug
build it
here and
then,
that
yeah.
bug. Oh, well, it's actually how I built it when you look back, because one of the criticisms I got all the way through was, how are you going to test it? Like, on all the devices right around the world, there's so many different devices. How are you going to test it, sort of thing, without $1 million test team? And I never really I just never even listened to that. I
Yeah,
thought, that's the last thing I'm worried about, is how I'm going to test it. But I realized I was actually testing it as I was going. And
yeah,
with the people that I was engaging in the pubs that were not only investing, they were also helping to test. And they all had different devices, cheap ones and dear ones and
yeah,
old ones. It just became the way that I was building WorkApp, sort of thing, was
yeah.
going through and testing it and building it. And this many years later, like I say, our shareholder groups ended up being a fantastic test team for us,
Yeah, that's right. So
because,
investor, tester, and ambassador. So
yep,
like
yep,
and that's perfect. And that's also what I've noticed, where people developing something, the sooner they get a potential client or investor involved, the sooner they end up with a great product. Because if you build this thing, imagine building it over 5 years, putting it out there, and then people rejecting it. But this way, you're going to end up with a better
well, see,
product in a way.
better product. And sort of the whole design thing never really concerned me lots, because I knew it would evolve, and it was more about the back end capability of it that mattered. Can it handle 100 million people on it? Is it data secure? Like, that's all I focused on, because I knew, if I can take care of that, eventually the product will morph and evolve into a slick product, and it'll just continue on, just like the other platforms have, where they just get better and slicker and that sort
Yeah,
of thing. So I focused on the right thing, which was building it for load, not worrying about how I was going to market it and all that
yeah,
sort of thing. And that ended up taking care of itself from what happened. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. And one other thing you mentioned about, you took action, and sometimes it was a bit of luck, but a bit of action. But law of attraction, the last letters are action. At the end of the day, you can't just sit there and wish for something. You got to do something to show the universe that, you're serious about it. So it's good that you're reinforcing that through this interview about taking action, because life rewards action, life rewards activity. You ain't going to get a new result unless you take new action. Yeah. No,
Exactly.
cool. Okay. So, was there anything that stood out, like one or two challenges that you faced along the way in building this business, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, well, obviously the testing of it was one big challenge, that just continued on and continued on. And I realized after a while it became the challenge, which was the landmark of building it, is being able to test it and have it be from an idea to the manifestation of, so, but look, not one particular challenge. Daily challenges have arisen and been dealt with for many years now. And I'm fortunate that I focus on what I need to do, and I let my team do what they need to do. I don't micromanage or anything like that. So it takes a big load off my shoulders, not having to worry about that, because I've got good people by my side doing this, who are professionals and I've got over 20 years experience in the software game. So I've got some good backbone, because I've got good tech partnership. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That allows me to focus on what I need to do. And now that the platform's built, what I'm doing now is just more of this, where it's promotional. It does fit my skill set.
Yes.
And I'm not even selling anything because it's, you know what I mean? It's part of who I am now.
Yeah.
So selling itself, and I'm just telling the story, and it's growing because of it. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy now, Martin.
Yep.
You know, and you're going to see more of it because there's just no stopping this thing now. It's, you know, we've got 24 international trademarks for this little puppy here. Well, I was very serious in the early days around the intellectual property side of things and our ownership of the IP. So, you know, we're very serious about being a global player.
Yeah, excellent. That's good. And the good point you raised about people knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are and focusing on their strengths, not worry about correcting their weaknesses as such, hiring someone to fill that gap. And that's how you build a strong team where everyone plays to their strengths and kind of
that's right.
Their weaknesses.
That's the key.
So
that is the key.
Yeah, that's great. So Shane, what advice would you give to someone who may be thinking of a career change or starting a business?
Well, if you're going to start a business, like I say, first you have to ask yourself the question, is it about making money or is it about doing something that excites you and feeds your soul? You know, that's the first question to ask yourself. If it's about making money, well, you know, there's lots of opportunities to make money. There really is. You know, if that's all it's about for you. So, you know, that's the first question to answer. Ask yourself, you know, if it's not about making money more so about making you feel good in something that you've done, then you're on the right path straight away, whatever that is, you know, and it will be hard if that's the case, but very rewarding to take that path, you know. So I think that's what you got to do is identify what it's about making money, because if it's just about making money, then you need to go and find the quickest, easiest, you know, painless way of doing it if that's all it's about for you.
Just rob a bank,
you know? Well, maybe not rob a bank, you know. These days you'd be robbing a crypto bank anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
The hackers doing that.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's a good point. You need to be also realistic that it is going to be hard. But one thing I also learned is if you do what's hard now, your life's going to get easier. But if you do what's easy now, your life's going to get hard. So you have a choice. Do the easy or do the hard now. It's up to you. I know what I'd rather do.
Yes.
Do the hard now while I can, while I'm young, while I'm strong, where I'm mentally
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's 40 to me. I thought, you know, a good solid decade of something that you've sunk your teeth into should see you in good stead for your later years is what I thought, you know. And so
good
you know, I started this at age 40 and, you know, and so
that's young.
I reckon, that's right. So a decade, 40 to 50, and I've built WorkApp, and it's a global platform that helps the many in trade and commerce without any fees.
Yes.
I'll be stoked with that, mate, you know.
Yeah, and what I love about it is when you're gone, it's still going to be there serving the community. So it lives beyond you. And that's what life purpose is all about, creating something that outlives you. To me, you know, that's fantastic, because when you take your last breath, you're going to look back at your life and you're going to say, well, I've helped millions of people, you know, get work or get a service or meet each other or whatever it is. So that's why having a life purpose, not worry about the money too much, but that'll come later. But
that's right.
It's so important. It's so fulfilling.
Yep. And look, the solution of WorkApp now has never been more pertinent than now with this whole pandemic situation, you know, because it truly is free for the people. There's no algorithm squashing your visibility for your things for sale or your business or whatever. It's the closest active results in the search instead of who pays. And, you know, it's fortunate that this is in the position that is in now to actually be a solution for the people in trade and commerce, because I watch my mates and a lot of people get bowled over by the digital tidal wave that's rolled through over the last decade. And now the little plumber's got to pay $1,000 a week for search engine optimization to be able to rank at the top. So Mrs. Jones now gets, Mrs. Jones looks for a plumber. She gets one 10 suburbs away that ranked at the top instead of the one that was around the corner from her.
That's right.
Could have come around and did the tap washer for $20.
And she's paying more because they got to pay for the advertising or the keywords, AdWords, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no, you're spot on. You're creating a level playing field, so
that's it.
Everyone gets the best outcome.
Well, back to, like, you know, the good old days when you whacked a an ad in the paper and you've got a month's worth of work or a week's worth of work. Well, WorkApp's about localizing the commercial activity worldwide.
Yeah.
Because we need our local communities to thrive, which means we need to use locals as best we can so that we can get a local economy going. And that needs to happen all around the world. And that's the basis of WorkApp at its core, is to provide that e-commerce tool, platform and localization of it, but also have the ability to search abroad. You can be, on WorkApp in Perth and look for something in San Francisco that's on the app sort of thing. Search location you choose. It defaults to where you are and then you choose to where you want. But the basis of it is to help local communities thrive, to provide that e-commerce tool without the fees, which is not on offer anywhere else in the world. WorkApp's the first to bring a true e-commerce platform with shopping cart and PayPal and all the goodies, but just no fees, just no cost. People say it's too good to be true. Well, once again, we've built an automation that doesn't have a building full of staff. So it's quite new age. And with enough active users, we can sell those WorkApp billboards. No problems, you know what I mean? So it does have a good commercial upside as well. But it's first and foremost about helping the people. The commercial upside is the byproduct of it.
Yeah, true. And that's an important key message to keep spreading about the local community, because that's why people will buy into the app, because of those reasons you've just mentioned. So
Correct.
That's excellent. Okay, Shane. So how can people learn more about you, your work, or get in contact with you?
Also, workapp.world is the website. And the web-based platform. You can download on the Play Store or the iPhone App Store. And you can search me on WorkApp really easily and find me and reach out because there's a chat service there. And, of course, LinkedIn. I've built a community on LinkedIn, which is how you and I connected. And I've got a lot of great, network building on LinkedIn. I really advocate for LinkedIn these days because it's a great business networking opportunity for us all. So anyone can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and if you want to put me on a podcast, I love doing these because it's a win-win for everyone type thing,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, LinkedIn or WorkApp. But I love people are starting to reach out to me on WorkApp now, which is a bit of a thrill, So get me on WorkApp.
No, is it workapp.com or workappworld.com?
Workapp.world.
Workapp.world.
Workapp.world. That's it. Yeah.
Workapp.world.
Yeah, we were aiming high from word go, mate. We're all about the world right now. WorkApp.world.
Yep, no worries. I'll put a link in the post. Okay, do you have any final words, Shane?
No, just appreciate you taking the time, and obviously you're providing a service to your listeners and viewers. So thanks for doing what you're doing, Martin.
Yeah, not a problem.
We'll connect again soon.
Yeah. No, I'm happy, and I'm happy to share your story because you're inspirational. You're inspiring other people. Like, you've done a lot of research and soul finding to realize that money is a secondary thing. Finding your life purpose, doing something you're passionate about that serves the world is not only good for you and the world, but it's going to also carry on for generations after you're gone. And that's, I think, important. So thanks for sharing your story. And also, I appreciate also you sharing a bit about, your path, and you're obviously a well-rounded person with a wide experience, and you're a great entrepreneur and using different strategies to get through these 5 years, which is excellent. And I can feel, your hunger and your passion. And I think that is the key to success. So if anyone is listening and wants to take back the power in buying, selling, connecting, and communicating, then check out WorkApp. Like I said before, I've just downloaded it and signed up. So I recommend you do also. So that's a wrap.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.